The rain pounded against the stained-glass windows of St. Mary's Church in suburban Chicago. But inside, the air was thick with silence and betrayal. 16-year-old Robert Thompson sat alone on the cold wooden bench, his backpack clutched to his chest like a shield, as his parents' footsteps echoed away down the aisle, leaving him behind without a backward glance. They had driven him here after he confessed his feelings for his best friend, Mark, declaring that no son of theirs could live under their roof as a sinner. And now, abandoned in God's house, Robert felt the weight of rejection crush his spirit like a vice. He didn't cry at first. The shock numbed him, turning his world into a hazy blur of pews and crucifixes. Hours passed, or maybe minutes. Time lost meaning in that empty sanctuary. The priest had come and gone, offering awkward prayers but no real help. His eyes averted as if Robert's mere presence tainted the holy ground. Robert's phone buzzed once. A text from his mother. "Pray for forgiveness. We'll come back when you're fixed." He stared at the screen, fingers trembling, before powering it off and shoving it deep into his bag. What was there to fix? He had known since middle school that he was gay, but hiding it had become second nature in a family where Bible verses were quoted like law and any deviation was met with fire and brimstone. As dusk fell, the church doors creaked open, letting in a gust of chilly wind. A woman in her late 40s entered, shaking off her umbrella. Her name was Elena Ramirez, a social worker who volunteered at the parish food bank. She spotted Robert immediately, huddled in the shadows, his face pale and drawn. "Hey, kid," she said softly, approaching with cautious steps. "You okay? Looks like you've been here a while." Robert looked up, his blue eyes rimmed with exhaustion, and for the first time that day, words failed him. He shook his head, the dam breaking as tears streamed down his cheeks. Elena sat beside him, not touching, just listening as he poured out the story in halting whispers. The confession, the ultimatum, the abandonment. Elena didn't flinch. She had seen too much in her line of work. Kids kicked out for all sorts of reasons, families torn apart by prejudice. But something about Robert tugged at her heart. He wasn't defiant or angry. He was just lost. A boy who had dared to be honest and paid the price. "You don't have to go through this alone," she told him. "I can help. There's a shelter downtown, or, if you're willing, you could stay with me tonight. No strings." Robert hesitated, the idea of trusting a stranger terrifying, but the alternative, sleeping on the streets or begging his parents, was worse. He nodded, and just like that, Elena became his lifeline. Over the next few weeks, Elena navigated the legal maze to become Robert's temporary guardian. His parents signed over custody without a fight, claiming it was God's will to let him go. Robert moved into her modest apartment in the city, a far cry from his parents' sprawling house in the suburbs. Elena was a single mom to a daughter who had just left for college, and her home felt warm, lived in, with photos of family gatherings and books on every shelf. She didn't push him to talk about his sexuality. Instead, she focused on practicalities, enrolling him in a new school, getting him therapy, helping him find a part-time job at a local coffee shop. "You're not broken, Robert," she said one evening over dinner. "You're just you, and that's enough." But the wounds ran deep. At night, Robert replayed the scene in the church, questioning if he should have lied, if his truth was worth the cost. School was a minefield too. At Lincoln High, whispers followed him like shadows. Rumors spread fast in a place where being different could make you a target. He kept his head down, avoiding eye contact, but then he met Jordan Hayes. Jordan was a senior, captain of the soccer team, with an easy smile and a reputation for being the golden boy, straight-A student, church youth group leader, son of a prominent local pastor. They crossed paths in English class, assigned to a group project on Shakespeare's sonnets. Jordan's charisma was magnetic, and as they worked late into the evenings, debating themes of love and identity, Robert felt a spark he hadn't expected. One night, in Jordan's basement study, the conversation turned personal. "What about you?" Jordan asked, leaning back on the couch. "Ever been in love?" Robert froze, his heart racing. He could lie, play it safe, but something in Jordan's eyes, curious, unguarded, made him whisper the truth. Yeah, with a guy. Jordan didn't recoil. Instead, he nodded slowly, his face flushing. Me too. But don't tell anyone. My dad. He'd kill me. In that moment, a secret bond formed, fragile and forbidden. They shared stolen glances in the hallways, late-night texts that danced around their feelings. For Robert, it was a glimpse of hope, but he knew the risks. Jordan's world was built on expectations. College scholarships, family legacy, and coming out could shatter it all. As weeks turned to months, their relationship deepened in hidden corners. A brush of hands under the table, a quick kiss in an empty park. But tension simmered beneath the surface. Robert pushed Jordan to be honest with himself, while Jordan begged for time, terrified of the fallout. Elena noticed the changes in Robert, the secretive smiles, the late nights out, and gently probed. Whoever it is, make sure they're worth it, she advised. Love shouldn't make you hide. Robert nodded, but inside, doubt gnawed at him. Was he dragging Jordan into the same pain he had endured? Or was this the start of something real, worth fighting for? The first crack appeared at a school event. Jordan's father, Pastor Hayes, was the guest speaker at the spring assembly, preaching about traditional values and the dangers of modern temptations. Robert sat in the audience, fists clenched, as the words cut like knives. Jordan, on stage beside his dad, avoided his gaze, his face a mask of compliance. Afterward, in the parking lot, Robert confronted him. How can you just stand there and let him say that? Jordan's eyes flashed with anger and fear. You don't get it, Robert. That's my family. My life. I can't just blow it up like you did. The words stung, a betrayal that echoed his parents' rejection. Robert walked away, heart aching, wondering if love was always this cruel. Robert threw himself into his new routine, trying to bury the hurt from Jordan's words. Mornings at the coffee shop became his sanctuary, the hiss of the espresso machine drowning out his thoughts. Elena encouraged him to join a support group for LGBTQ youth, held at a community center downtown. At first, he resisted, too raw, too exposed, but one rainy Tuesday he went. The room was filled with kids like him, sharing stories of struggle and survival. There, he met Liam, a confident 17-year-old with a sharp wit and a tattoo of a rainbow phoenix on his arm. Liam had come out to his family years ago, facing backlash but emerging stronger. It's not about them, Liam told the group. It's about owning your story. Robert listened, envious of Liam's resolve, and soon they became friends, grabbing burgers after meetings and talking late into the night. Jordan noticed the shift. Texts from him grew more frequent, laced with jealousy. Who's this Liam guy? Saw you with him on Insta. Robert replied curtly at first, but the pull was too strong. They met in secret again, Jordan apologizing profusely. I didn't mean it like that. I'm just scared. They reconciled under the stars in a deserted playground, their kisses urgent, as if time was running out. But the secrecy weighed on Robert. He confided in Elena one evening, spilling everything over Coco. I love him, but it's like we're living a lie. Elena hugged him. Love isn't a lie, but hiding it can poison everything. You deserve someone who chooses you openly. Meanwhile, Jordan's home life tightened like a noose. Pastor Hayes announced a new church initiative against moral decay, targeting schools with anti-LGBTQ literature. Jordan was expected to lead the youth campaign, handing out pamphlets that condemned same-sex relationships as sinful. He agonized over it in private, pacing his room, but publicly he complied, his smile forced. One afternoon, during a church meeting, his father cornered him. I've heard rumors, son, about you and that Thompson boy. Tell me it's not true. Jordan's blood ran cold. He denied it vehemently, but the seed of suspicion was planted. That night, he called Robert in a panic. We have to be more careful. If he finds out, Robert's patience snapped. Or maybe we stop hiding. What are we doing, Jordan? This isn't living. The argument escalated into their first real fight. Jordan accused Robert of being reckless, of not understanding the stakes. His scholarship, his family's reputation. Robert shot back that Jordan was a coward, letting fear dictate his life. They parted angry, no resolution in sight. Days turned to weeks of radio silence. Robert leaned on Liam, who offered a listening ear and subtle flirtations. "You deserve better," Liam said during a walk in the park. "Someone who isn't ashamed." For a moment, Robert considered it. Liam was out, proud, uncomplicated. But his heart still ached for Jordan. Then came the betrayal. At school, a flyer circulated. An anonymous tip about immoral behavior among students, naming Robert as a corrupting influence. Whispers turned to stares, and soon, Robert was called to the principal's office. "We take these allegations seriously," the administrator said. Robert defended himself, but the damage was done. He suspected Jordan immediately. Who else knew enough to twist the knife? Confronting him in the locker room, Jordan's face crumpled. "It wasn't me, I swear. But my dad found my phone. He made me tell him everything." Robert felt the ground shift. "You threw me under the bus to save yourself?" Jordan reached for him, tears in his eyes. "I had no choice. He threatened to cut me off, send me away." Robert pulled back, the pain raw. "There's always a choice. You just chose wrong." Elena was furious when Robert told her. "That boy's family is toxic. You need to protect yourself." She helped him file a complaint with the school, but the incident left scars. Robert withdrew, focusing on graduation and his future. He applied to colleges far from Chicago, dreaming of a fresh start. Liam became a constant, their friendship blooming into something tentative, innocent dates at movies and cafes. But Jordan lingered in his thoughts, a ghost of what could have been. One evening, Jordan showed up at the coffee shop, disheveled and desperate. "I can't do this anymore," he said, pulling Robert aside. "I told my dad everything. He's kicking me out." Robert's heart lurched, echoes of his own abandonment. "What now?" Jordan shrugged, vulnerable. "I don't know, but I choose you." They embraced, the moment bittersweet, but Robert wondered if it was too late. The damage from secrets and lies hung between them like fog. As they walked home together, hand in hand for the first time in public, stares followed. But Jordan didn't pull away. It was a small victory, but the war was far from over. Elena's reaction was mixed, proud of Jordan's courage, wary of the fallout. "Brave steps come with costs," she warned. Indeed, Pastor Hayes disowned Jordan publicly, sermonizing about tough love. Jordan moved in with a cousin, scraping by on odd jobs. Their relationship, now open, faced societal backlash. Dirty looks, online hate, even threats from church members. Robert stood by him, but the strain tested their bond. Doubts crept in. Was this love, or just shared trauma? High school ended with a whimper, not a bang. At graduation, Robert scanned the crowd for his biological parents, but they weren't there. Elena cheered loudly, her pride a bomb. Jordan, cap and gown askew, grinned from afar. But as summer loomed, new challenges arose. College acceptances came. Robert to NYU, Jordan waitlisted at a local community college. Distance threatened to pull them apart. "We'll make it work," Jordan promised. Robert nodded, but inside, fear whispered otherwise. College hit like a whirlwind. Robert thrived in New York, the city's anonymity a relief after Chicago's suffocating scrutiny. He majored in psychology, drawn to understanding the minds that had rejected him. Classes buzzed with diverse voices, and for the first time he felt seen without judgment. Elena called weekly, her voice a anchor. "Proud of you, kid. You're building something real." But Jordan's situation was bleaker. Stuck in Chicago at community college, living paycheck to paycheck, he struggled with depression. Their long-distance calls started passionate but devolved into arguments. About visits, jealousy, the future. "You left me here," Jordan accused once. "Easy for you to move on." Robert bit back hurt. "I didn't leave you. I chose a life where I don't have to hide." Back home for Thanksgiving, tensions boiled over. Jordan had reconnected with his family tentatively, attending church to mend fences. Robert saw red. "After what they did, You're going back. At Elena's dinner table, the fight erupted. You don't understand, Jordan snapped. Family is everything.
Elena intervened gently.
Family is what you choose, not what breaks you. Jordan stormed out, leaving Robert reeling. That night, alone in his old room, Robert questioned if their love was sustainable. The holiday ended in reconciliation, but cracks widened. Jordan's father offered conditional support. Return home, renounce his lifestyle, and all would be forgiven. Jordan confided the temptation during a tearful call. It's security, Robert. A roof, tuition. Robert's voice cracked. At what price? Your soul. Jordan chose to resist, but the seed of doubt grew. Meanwhile, in New York, Robert met new people, including a charismatic classmate named Chris, openly gay and unapologetic. Chris invited him to parties, where freedom tasted sweet. One night, after too many drinks, Chris kissed him. Robert pulled away, guilt flooding him, but the incident haunted his calls with Jordan. Christmas brought another blow. Jordan's cousin evicted him after a family feud, forcing him to couch surf. Desperate, he accepted a loan from his father, strings attached. Just temporary, he told Robert. But when Robert visited, he found Jordan attending church again, nodding along to sermons that condemned their love. It's survival, Jordan defended, not belief. Robert exploded. You're betraying us, betraying yourself. The argument peaked with Jordan's confession. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe this isn't worth it. Robert left in tears, the flight back to New York a blur of heartbreak. Elena met him at the airport, her hug fierce. Sometimes love means letting go, but Robert couldn't. He threw himself into therapy, unpacking layers of abandonment and trust issues. Sessions revealed his fear, that Jordan's indecision mirrored his parents' rejection. I keep choosing people who can't choose me, he admitted. The therapist nodded. Break the cycle. Inspired, Robert focused on self-growth, joining campus LGBTQ groups, advocating for change. He even spoke at a rally, sharing his story to thunderous applause. Empowerment felt intoxicating. Jordan, sensing the distance, made a grand gesture, showing up in New York unannounced. I quit church, cut ties for good. They spent a weekend reconnecting, bodies and hearts entwined in Robert's dorm. But reality intruded. Jordan had no plan, no job, relying on Robert's support. Resentment built. I can't carry us both, Robert said during a heated discussion. Jordan's eyes hardened. Then maybe we're done. He left, slamming the door, leaving Robert shattered. Weeks of no contact followed. Robert dated Chris casually, seeking distraction, but it felt hollow. News from Chicago trickled in via mutual friends. Jordan spiraling, partying recklessly, rumors of hookups. Jealousy clawed at Robert, but pride held him back. Then, a call from Elena. Jordan's in the hospital. Overdose. Robert rushed back, heart pounding. At the bedside, Jordan looked frail, tubes snaking from his arms. I messed up, Jordan whispered. Lost without you. Robert held his hand, forgiveness mingling with anger. We both did. Recovery was slow. Jordan moved in with Elena temporarily, attending rehab and therapy. Robert commuted weekends, their relationship on probation. Trust rebuilt brick by brick, but old wounds festered. Jordan's father reached out, offering help if Jordan repented. Jordan refused, but the offer lingered like temptation. Robert watched warily, fearing another betrayal. During a session together, the therapist probed, What are you willing to sacrifice? Jordan squeezed Robert's hand. Nothing. Not anymore. As spring bloomed, so did hope. Jordan transferred to a New York school, scholarships secured through advocacy groups. They moved in together, a tiny apartment symbolizing fresh starts. But society pushed back. Job rejections for Jordan due to his controversial background, stares in public, even a hate crime. A brick through their window with a slur scrawled on it. Robert reported it, but justice was slow. Is this our life? Jordan asked, bandaging a cut. Robert nodded grimly. If we let it be. The ultimate test came at a family reunion Elena hosted. Robert's biological parents showed up uninvited, claiming remorse after years of silence. "We've prayed," his mother said tearfully. "We want you back." Robert's father glanced at Jordan uncomfortably. "But changes must be made." Robert stood tall. "No. This is who I am." The confrontation was electric, words flying like daggers. Jordan defended him fiercely, earning Elena's nod. The parents left, disowned again, but Robert felt liberated. With college behind them, real life tested their resolve. Robert landed a counseling job at a youth center, helping kids like his younger self navigate identity crises. Jordan pursued graphic design, his talent shining despite setbacks. Their apartment became a haven, filled with laughter and late-night talks. But external pressures mounted. Jordan's old church friends bombarded him with messages, urging redemption. One, a former crush named Sarah, visited under the guise of concern. "Your dad misses you," she said sweetly. Jordan rebuffed her, but Robert caught the lingering glance, igniting paranoia. "Is there something there?" he demanded later. Jordan sighed. "No. But sometimes I miss normalcy." The word normalcy stung, reopening old insecurities. A promotion opportunity for Robert required relocating to San Francisco. "It's a dream job," he told Jordan excitedly. But Jordan hesitated, tied to a freelance gig in New York. "What about us?" The discussion turned tense. "You'd choose a job over me?" Jordan accused. Robert countered. "It's for our future." They compromised. Jordan would join later, but resentment simmered. Alone in San Francisco, Robert thrived professionally but felt isolated. He reconnected with Chris, now a colleague, their friendship flirtatious. One evening, after a work event, Chris confessed lingering feelings. "We could be good together." Robert resisted, but the temptation shook him. He called Jordan, confessing the near miss. Jordan's silence was deafening. "Do you even want this anymore?" The fallout was brutal. Jordan flew out, accusations flying. "You're pulling away." Robert admitted his doubts. "Maybe we're holding each other back." They broke up that night, tears and regrets mingling. Jordan returned to New York, crashing with friends. Robert threw himself into work, but emptiness gnawed. Elena mediated via calls. "Love isn't easy, but quitting is." Months passed in a haze. Jordan dated casually, posting photos that twisted Robert's gut. Robert focused on activism, speaking at conferences about LGBTQ rights, his story inspiring thousands. But success felt hollow without Jordan. Then, a crisis. Elena's health scare, a heart attack. Robert rushed back, Jordan already there, holding her hand. In the hospital waiting room, they talked honestly for the first time in months. "I was scared," Jordan admitted, "of losing you, of failing." Robert nodded. "Me too. But we can't keep hurting each other." Elena recovered, her brush with mortality a wake-up call. "Life's too short for regrets," she told them. Rekindled, they vowed to try again, this time with couples therapy. Back together in San Francisco, they built anew. Jordan freelanced remotely, their life stabilizing. But society intruded again. A ballot measure on gay rights sparked protests. Jordan, once hesitant, marched beside Robert, chanting for equality. Pride swelled in Robert's chest. Yet, internal conflicts persisted. Jordan received a job offer from his father's company. Lucrative, but conditional on discretion. "It's money we need," Jordan argued. Robert saw red. At the cost of hiding again? The debate raged, echoing past betrayals. Jordan turned it down, choosing integrity, but the strain showed. Friends' weddings highlighted their own stalled commitment. "When's our turn?" Robert asked one night. Jordan hesitated. "I'm ready, but what if it falls apart?" Vulnerability surfaced, Jordan's abandonment fears mirroring Robert's. They proposed simultaneously on a foggy bridge, rings simple but meaningful. The engagement brought joy, but planning revealed fissures. Robert wanted a public ceremony. Jordan feared backlash. "My family's not coming anyway," Jordan said bitterly. Robert pushed. "Then we make our own family." The wedding approached amid chaos. Robert's parents sent a letter. "We disapprove, but pray for you." Jordan's father boycotted outright. On the eve, doubts crested. Jordan confessed a one-night stand during their breakup. "I was lost." Robert's world tilted. Betrayal cut deep. "How can I trust you?" He walked out, spending the night alone, weighing love against pain. Dawn brought clarity. Forgiveness or freedom? He returned, confronting Jordan. "We end this cycle now." Jordan nodded, remorseful. They postponed the wedding, committing to heal first. Years slipped by. Therapy helped, but scars remained. Robert rose in his field, authoring a book on LGBTQ youth resilience. Jordan's designs gained acclaim. They adopted a dog symbolizing stability. But when a surrogate opportunity arose for parenthood, conflicts resurfaced. Jordan wanted kids. Robert feared repeating parental failures. "What if we're not enough?" Robert worried. Jordan reassured. "We'll be better." They proceeded, welcoming a son, Micah. Parenthood tested them. Sleepless nights, societal judgments, but strengthened their bond. Yet happiness was fragile. Micah's school faced anti-gay curriculum pushes, echoing their past. Robert advocated fiercely, Jordan by his side. One day, Jordan's father appeared at their door, aged and frail. "I was wrong," he admitted. Reconciliation tempted Jordan, but Robert cautioned. "Only if he accepts us fully." The meeting was tense, apologies mixed with defensiveness. Jordan chose boundaries, protecting their family. As Micah grew, Robert reflected on their journey, the abandonments, betrayals, redemptions. Love had demanded sacrifices, but yielded growth. Still, questions lingered. Micah's 10th birthday party buzzed with laughter in their San Francisco backyard. Friends and chosen family gathered, Elena, now a doting grandma, Liam as an uncle figure, even a few reconciled acquaintances from Chicago. Robert watched Jordan chase Micah with a water gun, their joy infectious. But beneath the surface, old tensions simmered. A recent argument about Micah's school lingered. Robert wanted to pull him out over subtle homophobia. Jordan advocated staying to fight. "We can't run forever," Jordan said. Robert countered. "But we can't risk him either." Compromise came hard, a reminder that their union was forged in fire. Professionally, Robert's book tour took him across the country, sharing tales of resilience. Audiences applauded, but Q&A sessions probed deep. "How do you forgive betrayal?" Robert paused, thinking of Jordan's confession years ago. "Forgiveness isn't forgetting. It's choosing to build anyway." Jordan joined him on some stops, their story a testament to perseverance. But travel strained them, lonely nights, missed milestones. One evening, after a signing, an admirer flirted boldly. Robert rebuffed, but the incident echoed Chris's temptation, stirring guilt. He called Jordan immediately. "Just a reminder of what I have." Jordan's voice softened. "Come home soon." Elena's visit brought perspective. "You've come far, boys, but don't forget the cost." She shared her own regrets. A failed marriage, raising her daughter alone before adopting Robert. Love demands sacrifice, but know your limits. Her words resonated as they faced a new crisis, Jordan's health. A routine check revealed early signs of heart disease, genetic from his father's side. Panic gripped Robert. "We can't lose you." Jordan downplayed it. "Just meds and diet." But the scare forced reevaluation. Jordan quit freelancing for a stable job, prioritizing family. Robert cut back on tours, presence over ambition. Micah, perceptive beyond his years, noticed the shifts. "Are you and Dad okay?" he asked one night. Robert hugged him. "We're working on it, buddy. Always." Parenting amplified their dynamics. Robert the protector, Jordan the optimist. When Micah came home with questions about his two dads, they navigated honestly, arming him against prejudice. But society evolved unevenly, progress in laws, backlash in communities. A local ordinance threatened LGBTQ protections, sparking protests. The family marched together, Micah's small sign reading "Love is love." Pride swelled, but exhaustion followed. "Is it worth the fight?" Jordan whispered later. Robert nodded. For him, yes. A ghost from the past resurfaced. Robert's mother, terminally ill, requesting a visit. "I want to make amends," her letter read. Robert agonized. "After everything?" Jordan urged. Closure might help. The trip to Chicago was surreal. His mother, frail in bed, tearfully apologized. "We were blind. Fear ruled us." His father, silent, nodded. Robert forgave tentatively, not for them but himself. Returning home, he felt lighter. Sharing the burden lifted. Jordan held him. "Proud of you." But Jordan's own reconciliation stalled. His father passed without words, leaving a will excluding him. Grief hit hard. "He never accepted me." Robert comforted, but Jordan withdrew, questioning their path. "What if I chose differently?" Therapy resurfaced, unpacking layers. "You chose us," Robert reminded. Slowly, healing came. They renewed vows privately, rings glinting under sunlight, Micah as witness. As Micah entered teens, echoes of Robert's youth emerged. Micah confided crushes on boys, seeking advice. Robert guided gently, Jordan adding humor. But when bullying started, taunts about his freak family, rage boiled. Robert confronted the school, Jordan restrained him. "We teach resilience, not revenge." The incident united them, but highlighted ongoing battles. Years blurred into milestones. Micah's graduation, their silver anniversary. Robert, now a renowned advocate, reflected in quiet moments. Their love had weathered storms. Abandonment, betrayal, societal scorn, but emerged resilient. Sacrifices piled. Careers curtailed. Friendships lost. Hearts scarred. Yet, joy outweighed pain. Stolen kisses evolved to family dinners, secrets to open pride. In the end, as they sat on their porch watching the sunset, hands intertwined, Robert pondered the journey's toll. Was the pain justified for this peace? Jordan squeezed his hand, eyes full of unspoken answers. Their story, a tapestry of drama and decision, begged the question. Is it right to endure betrayal and sacrifice for a love that demands your truth? Or does self-preservation sometimes require walking away?